Hello, I'm here today with Neil Enock, who's going to tell us a little bit about his book Doc Christmas, which I have right here. Now, Doc Christmas has been described as a Christmas carol for the 21st century. Now, are you going to tell us a little bit about this book? But I suppose. But first off, I'd like to just mention that this is like a new venture for you. You've not really been, you're not an author who's been writing books for ages. You do lots of other things, right?
Nope, I do lots of other things. This is a story that I wrote a while ago, but this is the first time it's reached book format.
Mm-hmm. So what other sort of things do you do?
I own a online hardware store. I make cribbage boards. Dabble in film, background on a zillion projects, Interstellar, Klondike, Hell on Wheels, and then a lot of local projects I've actually started acting on as well. And a screenwriter, actually. I've got 8 screenplays.
Oh, so you've got a background in writing then?
Yes.
So what was the reason for sort of venturing into this? Because Doc Christmas obviously is a story for children, for Christmas. So why did you decide to suddenly take up this kids writing idea?
Doc Christmas came to me first as a screenplay, and it seemed to me that it would live better as a book. It's a really good story. Hopefully it's a little bit of a classic. I mean, that would be everyone's goal in writing a Christmas story, I suppose. But mainly it's a great story. I thought it should live life as a book first, and then we'll make the screenplay as in the future. Oh,
so there will be a movie at some point starring big names.
One can only hope. We've invited a few. There are some really big players in. There's a lot of trains in the book, and there are some really big players in trains. Rod Stewart, Roger Daltrey, Patrick Stewart, all railroad and train fans, and we've actually sent a copy to Patrick Stewart's agent, and actually to Whoopi Goldberg's agent, so I don't know. But I probably shouldn't be saying that. So.
No, we probably shouldn't mention those names.
No, let's not mention those names
We'll
at all.
edit all that out later, absolutely.
Okay, definitely.
So why the train theme? I mean, obviously the Christmas theme is a seasonal book. Why did you want to go with a model train theme?
Well, trains have always been magic at Christmas. There's always been a train around the Christmas tree. So that was always intriguing since I was a kid. And then I also happen to have a podcast called Train Talk TV, which is all about trains all over the world. And so I'm around trains. That and the story, it just seemed like a good idea.
So is there always a train at the bottom of the Christmas tree for everyone?
No, definitely not. But for those that have seen it, done it, or know about it, this book will provide the answer to the question, well, why is there a train around the bottom of my Christmas tree?
Well, that leads me into the question then, without you revealing everything about this story. What is it about? Can you give us like a synopsis without giving it all away?
I don't know. I will try.
All right. Give us a whirl.
Okay, well, the book is, a couple things about the book. First thing is it's set in the present day. It's not an 1800s Christmas tale. It is a new Christmas novel, and it's set in the present day. The Doc, it starts out a little Scrooge-like. The Doc is a fellow who's lost his wife a few years prior to the book, and he's kind of pushed everybody away, his family, his friends, and whatnot. And he's focusing entirely on his work. His work is that of a specialist in rare and viral diseases. That fact becomes of immense importance to Nick when the elves get sick through a disease that's causing an epidemic at the North Pole. So the book is really Doc's journey from this reclusive hermit-style fellow to reconnecting with his family, with Nick's assistance, reconnecting with Christmas and believing in magic again, and all so that he can get to be about this tall.
This tall? How does that work?
Well, this is the height, about 5/8 of an inch, of your average elf.
Is it?
And in order for this fellow to work on this fellow, he's got to be that size.
Good Lord. And
Yes.
It's all explained in the book how this happens.
There are parts that aren't explained because some of it is actually magic. But the science that is in the book is all science, and the magic is magic. And the elves will tell you, science is science, magic is magic. It's not.
Is that what elves say?
On at least one occasion.
Good Lord. Well, I must admit, I have read the book.
Yes.
I read it 4 times, of course, while I was busy editing and things, so I'm quite familiar with the story, but I just wanted the viewers to know.
Okay.
Now, one thing I should mention here, that on this lovely book cover, there's a familiar face on this book cover.
Do you know Victoria?
No, the guy on the book cover. This is you. Now, are you in this book as a character? Or?
I think that the answer to that question was originally no, and after doing a few signings, I have realized the answer to that question is you'll have to read the book to find out.
But this is obviously
It could be.
this is obviously a photograph of you, but you're
Yes.
as a person you're not in the book.
Not
So
specifically, no.
this isn't Doc Christmas himself on the front.
In fact,
cover.
no, that is not Doc Christmas. That
So-
is Doc Christmas's daughter
Is it?
on there.
I should
yes.
remember the book. I have read it, ladies and gentlemen. But the characters, because some people say this about in books, the characters are sometimes based on sometimes people they know, their father, their mother, their children, people they work with. Are the characters in this book based on anybody you know directly, or just composites or inspired? Or?
Definitely composites of bits of people. I would say there's nobody that's specific. Oh, that's that person dressed up. They are, especially amongst some of the trained people. They're definitely have traits of some of the people that I've met along the way.
Mm-hmm. So now you've self-published this book. It's not gone with a publishing house. You've done this yourself. Now that's a lot of work, isn't it?
Well, it is. I did something rather sneaky. My business is called I Tinker because I do a lot of things, and I set I Tinker up as a publisher, and then it published my book. So did I self-publish? If that's the answer people need to hear, then yes, I self-published. But if someone says, "Do you have a publisher?" the answer is yes. I Tinker Studios Inc. is the.
But this would have been so you've done basically everything yourself.
Yeah.
In that sense.
Well, with some professional help in some areas, editing and
obviously
like
the printer and layout and
yes.
all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So you've had lots of help with that. But as well as that, normally publishers, of course, will do a lot of work, marketing, promotion. Yeah, well, they're supposed to.
It's okay.
Marketing, promotion,
Yes.
and distribution, all this sort of stuff. Now that, of course, as a self-published person, you've got to do all that yourself. Now you have, I believe, you've told me before, you have sort of a built-in circle.
Yes.
Through the train world and through
Yes.
all the other things you do,
Yes.
which helps. But you've had to do all the marketing, you see. You're having to do all that yourself.
Yes, marketing though, and I don't know if I'm gonna differ. I'm gonna say that I have heard though, unless you are a big name author, you still do most of your own marketing with the smaller publishers. Now I don't know if that's true, but I heard it, and it was one of the things that definitely focused me on doing myself. But yeah, I have the train community, and I'm just in the midst of contacting them. And actually, if you look on the Doc Christmas website, some of them have already bought books, got them in stock, and are ready to go. So that's kind of very good. But I have thousands of places yet to go to contact. So it's an immense, massive job. But selling anything is always an immense, massive job. There's no quick and easy fix. It's a lot of work, and fortunately, I know the people that I'm talking to in that regard. I already know them. So.
Yeah. And in your case, of course, it's you've got limited time for this season. I remember when we were talking about this back in the summer when we were doing the editing and all that sort of thing. If you didn't get this thing done and ready to go by, say, Labor Day or just after Labor Day, you would miss the Christmas season. It would have been another year to wait.
I was pretty sure I would miss it, and in fact, I would have. I'm certain I would have. Yeah. Then I was thinking that way, and now I know.
So you've obviously got a website for this, and you've got Facebook and all the usual places where you're promoting it. And you did a book launch locally.
Did a book launch party. I invited most of my friends from the film industry, and that was very nice and well received and a lot of fun, and quite relaxed, which was.
So what else have you been doing to promote the book? Obviously, it's not because it isn't on Amazon, and there is no ebook or audio book.
There is no ebook.
There
is no ebook, and probably won't be until after or to coincide with the movie release, which is a ways away. I decided on hardcover only because, again, hoping it'll be somewhat of a classical story. The value of hardcover to me is important, and I think it is to most who collect books and read them.
That's right. Now, I just should mention this to the viewers here because this obviously is a cover. But inside the cover, we've got this lovely idea here. If that can be shown up too well on the front. Now, this is like an embossed image.
It's a foil embossing of the hub at the North Pole done by.
What's the hub at the North Pole? Can you tell us?
Well, it's
probably not.
I can tell you that it's the center of activities, like any hub would be. The North Pole.
But it's theirs, and it's very nice. This was Neil's idea to have this. Obviously, they designed it for him. It was his idea to have this on here.
One of the best compliments I heard on the book was I took it into the chapter store at Signal Hill, or the Indigo store at Signal Hill, and I brought in the book, and she said, "I thought you said this was self-published." And I said, "Well, it is." And she said, "Well, it's very well done. It doesn't look that way." And I've heard from other retailers as well that is the hallmark of someone that, makes it iffy. If it doesn't look like a professionally published book, they tend to shy away from it.
So you've been to bookstores locally, because obviously you've been doing that, and there's a limited time for that, because it's already, as we speak now, it's nearly November.
Coming up on November.
But you've been sitting in the bookstores, smiling and signing books for people. How have you found that? Because that's been a new thing for you too.
Brand new. First signing was the day after the book launch. Again, that was at the Signal Hill Indigo store. Very happy to say we sold out of everything they had, and I had to restock them. So it was good. It was great. I'm learning how to listen to people and how to talk about the book, because writing it doesn't mean you know how to talk about it.
No, not at all. You have to have a blurb in your mind to be able to, because somebody might say, well, what's your book about? Well, it's about Christmas. Okay. Yeah, you've not made a sale then, have you?
No, it's about Christmas. Have a nice day. That works on December 24th when they need a last-minute gift. The rest of the time, not so much.
But you've also you've done another event. You did a local sort of trade show as a last-minute thing, and you'll be doing. Are you doing any other events between now and Christmas Eve? Sort of thing?
I actually am talking to CP Rail about possibly doing something with their holiday train that goes across Canada and the U.S.
Oh, okay.
I doubt that'll happen. It's pretty unlikely. But I will be at least one, possibly three of the places where the CP's holiday train stops. I'll have a little booth set up there. That just came through the wire this morning. So.
Now, you've got books. You were mentioning earlier. You've got books in like train museums and hobby stores and things.
Yeah, there's half a dozen over the U.S. already. There's more coming. Lots more coming. Look, I mean, what I've done, these people know me, but they don't know the book. So I give them the press release in the book. Generally, they want to get a copy. I send them a review copy. They get the review copy, and they decide if they want to carry it. Thus far, as they are landing, they are ordering inventory for sale. And I think they see as I do that at Christmas people want a new. They'd like something new. They love the tradition, but they'd like something new. Well, hopefully this is a new tradition, so that's kind of what I'm...
But of course it's not just available in these museums and things and local stores.
It's
you
online.
have copies of your own.
Absolutely,
You sell people directly.
It's available online through the Doc Christmas website. There are actually other online places coming aboard, not Amazon. I have some history, and I didn't enjoy my experience with Amazon. That's a whole other show.
We won't mention that. Oh, did we mention that already? I think we did.
That's the second thing we have to edit
Oh,
out.
yes, I suppose so.
Yes.
So you would say that if someone's publishing something themselves, hardcover, whether you're using Amazon ebooks or whatever, so you have to be aware that there's marketing to be done. Then would that be your advice to other authors thinking of doing this?
Not only if you're self-publishing. From everything I've read, from all the research I did while I was looking into the book, and I did a fair bit, unless you've got a huge big name, sorry about the construction, unless you've got a huge big name already, you're going to be marketing. And if you don't, your book is probably going to be sitting. I think, like anything, has to be marketed. You've got to get it in front.
So, are there specific ways you should market a book? Obviously, the Christmas element, but are there specific ways you should market a book that you've published yourself, or do you just have to try everything and see what works?
A little bit of both. The number one rule with anything is know your market. Who is the audience for your book? If you can get it in front of your audience, odds are good they will buy it because the book is for them. So you need to get it in front of them and let them know, yes, this book is in your bailiwick.
Yeah, but of course you're new to writing kids' books, but you're not new to writing, and you're certainly not new to marketing, because you've been in marketing of other things for years. So you know what you're doing. It's just that you've got to focus on, okay, how do I market this thing as opposed to this other stuff I've been doing for years.
Exactly. Although each of my hardware orders is going out with a little card in it about the book.
Of course it is. Why not?
Yeah.
Waste no opportunity.
Cross marketing. They say it works. That's new for me. I really don't.
So back to something that was new for you then, because you were new to writing a book. Because when we first met, you got this thing. It was a screenplay, and you did, well, I have to turn this into a novel instead. And there was subtle differences, of course. So what have you learnt about writing novels through this process? Which is not. It's not like you were doing this for a long time. This was earlier in the year.
It was very quick. I knew there would be a lot more description. Screenplays, you must be sparse, and in a sentence you have to convey the feeling of the room and the mood of the people. If you can, in a sentence, great. That's a hallmark of a good screenplay. Pages of description will be cut, one way or the other. In the book, you have the luxury of time. You have the luxury of pages. You still don't want to bore anybody.
No, no, no.
But you can be a little more eloquent. You can be a little more detailed. You can add in almost everything except the smell of the room. But you can talk about it in a book, where in the screenplay, don't mention smell. They don't.
All right. So in a screenplay, you would say man enters room, period, and that's it. And in the book, you would say that man enters the room, and you'd have to describe where the table was located, where the window was, what colour the carpet was.
Yeah, generally speaking.
But in a film, you wouldn't do that.
You could do that in a film, and the rule in the film, in screenwriting, not that that's the rule in screenwriting is, if it's important to the story, it needs to be in there. If it's not, leave it to the set decorators, leave it to the to the actors, leave it to the people doing the locations management, because they will add their own layers of description in their job. They will bring in those things.
Yeah, it's just a different medium, isn't it?
It's a different medium, and it's a collaborative medium. So not only do you not want to tell those people what to do, you need to let them do their job, because odds are, you've got a whole team of people on a screenplay, odds are most of them are probably better at what they do than you could be anyway. Whereas in the book, it's you only have two collaborative people, and that's you, the author, and your reader. And hopefully, as the author, you've given them enough to build that room and dress it correctly in their minds.
Yeah. But you've learned about editing and things and formatting and things throughout this process too, which is different.
Quite a bit, yes.
To screenplays and everything.
Yes, my apologies for my first draft.
No, that's fine. It's just,
I learned lots.
When most people begin doing this, if you do a sequel, and there may be a sequel, it'll be very different. The whole process will be different. But the other thing perhaps you learnt, I think, which was probably good for anybody writing a book, is you, probably because you had the Christmas deadline, I don't know, but you were determined to get this done.
That's right.
A lot of people sit around and say, well, yeah, I'm working on a couple of chapters for my novel this weekend, and then they haven't worked on it for months, and then they don't work on it again. You were quite driven, weren't you?
Very focused. I actually bought a book, How to Write a Novel in 90 Days. Pretty sure that's it. And
I wonder how long it took them to write that book.
I don't know, but I flipped through it, and in flipping through it, I realized that a lot of the stuff he wanted, like an outline in that, because of the screenwriting process, I'd already accomplished a lot of that.
Yes, right.
But I still went through, and I read, and I worked through, made sure I hadn't missed anything of his take on writing a book, and I found it very good. Then when we got into the actual writing, again, I was further ahead because I'd already started and I had bits and pieces. But just having that guy and that extra motivation was very helpful. And I actually finished ahead of the deadline.
Yes, I think you did. But you were determined to get it done and say, okay, I'm going to spend the whole day, and you didn't dilly-dally around and get sucked into stuff online, and I mean, you were focused on it, which is a good piece of advice, perhaps.
I think it's great advice to have a deadline. You can't always meet it, but you can always have a target. If you miss your deadline, at least you know you've gone past what you'd hoped for.
Did you have an outline before you started? Did you plan it out, or did it just all come out of your head onto the screen?
Good question.
Was it a bit of both?
A bit of both. I had an outline, and I had cards, and then I went from an outline to cards, and then I never used the cards again. It was the process of making the cards that made it work for me. The interesting thing, though, is as I was... Now, keep in mind, I'd already written the screenplay. I kind of knew what I wanted. Although, like I say, the interesting part, as I was writing the book, the characters added in some stuff, quite a bit of stuff, quite a few scenes that I had not envisioned.
While you were constructing the story?
Well, while I was actually
like the people next door.
Throes of writing. Yeah, apologies for that. But, and it was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful, because there was, even when you're writing a screenplay, you don't necessarily have all the bits and pieces figured out. And as I'm going through, I know they've got to get over there, and I don't know how they're going to do that. I'll deal with it later. But in the throes of writing, the characters actually, oh, well, that guy's going to do this, and Nick's going to do that, and of course this will happen.
So you enjoyed the process?
I quite enjoyed the process. I didn't run into writer's block, so thank you. Whoever.
No, I don't think you did.
No, it was a good straight line process. I had great advice from a number of people.
Now, are there going to be sequels, or if not a sequel, would you consider another adventure on the same vein as this one?
There is enough material, and over there is enough material in here to provide sound footing for more tales.
I think so. Yeah, I can't think of it right away, but I think you've got material there. I think
there's a lot in here that we just touch on that is like whoa, and it's like okay, that's cool, and just that fact that bit was cool brings a lot of possibilities.
But you've got some other ideas too. You'd mentioned you've got another idea, not just for a screenplay, for another book. I think you've got an idea for that without telling us too much about it, but nothing to do with Christmas or trains.
No, nothing to do with Christmas or trains. I can give you the basic rundown.
If you trust the viewers with this information, I don't know.
I don't know. It's a story about the Mayan.
Okay,
the
so
civilization.
Historical fiction then, really.
Well, sort of. It's about why they thought the world was going to end. What they did about it, why their culture seemed to vanish, and when they're coming back.
So it's very different to this one.
Very different. It's quite a different book, but it's also a screenplay.
But that's the hallmark of a decent writer, whether of screenplays or of books, perhaps, that you've got all these different ideas and you're not stuck. Okay, I'm going to write about Christmas forever.
No,
or just about Santa and elves.
It wouldn't be me.
Now you've got lots of other things on the go. You've got obviously you're a filmmaker. You've got some film projects on the go. For the short films, I guess, most of the time.
Well, we have a TV pilot that I
I
wrote.
forgot. The time-traveling TV pilot, yeah?
Yep, and that's actually on the back burner for now while we finish the short, because I wanted to have something that people can look at, so we're going to finish the short first in the next month or so. And then we're back on the TV pilot, and then hopefully there will be a Doc Christmas movie. Now,
all this stuff, the film stuff, everything else you do can be found on the website. People can learn all about you, links and everything.
Links from the best place to go for the book is docchristmas.com. Then that will link you to my other site, itinker.com, which goes to all.
So there's no escape from finding out all about you online.
Well, to a degree, yes.
Yeah. Well, I think this is, as I say, I'm actually mentioned in this book, ladies and gentlemen. I'm actually mentioned here as I'm thanked for my help. And I'm also, a lovely quote on the back where I mention, this is true, that this is a captivating, heartwarming, festive story with an unusual twist, and it's just what the doctor ordered. I said that, and I meant it too.
Well, it's a great quote. The only other one that I like that came after the book was printed, the short one that I really love is someone called it the ultimate story of trains at Christmas. And it's like, yeah. You could call it that. Well,
of course, people can buy it. It's now. It's nearly November of 2015. People, of course, can buy this book in lots of places, as we mentioned earlier, and then go to the website and find out all about it. They can watch this video and find out all about it. It's available, and people should buy it because it's good.
DocChristmas.com has both a reseller finder. If there's someone near you, you can get it from them, or you can order it online.
Yeah, and people can follow your adventures online too. So yeah, thank you very much, sir, for being on the show and everything, and best of luck with this.
Thanks, son.
Thank you.